Okay, guys, let's continue. Okay, so now let's begin our discussion with OCI and PIO. Who are these people? Overseas citizen of India. Now, this word or this phrase has the word citizen, but are they Indian citizens? The phrase has the word citizen attached, but no, they are not Indian citizens. Am I clear to everybody? These people are not Indian citizens. They are foreigners. Okay. So look at the definition only. Any foreign national, meaning a foreigner, alien, who was a citizen of India at some point of time, you must have been an Indian citizen, or you were eligible to be an Indian citizen, or you belong to that part which became a part of India after independence, or you are a child, a grandchild, a great grandchild, or you are a minor child of such persons. OCI, Overseas Citizen of India. Simple. There is one more term called PIO, Person of Indian Origin. They are also foreigners. Look at this. A foreign citizen who at any time held an Indian passport, or who are either of their parents, grandparents, or great grandparents was born and permanently lived in India, or who is a spouse of a citizen of India or a PIO. Now, if you observe, PIO and OCI have a lot of overlap. In fact, both refer to the same kind of people who are foreigners, but at some point of time would have been Indian citizens. Maybe, maybe. So, the government said, why to have this confusion? Let's remove all the confusion. So, what we are going to do is we will merge these two together because they mean almost the same thing. So, the OCI card holder is a new term which is nothing but the merger of OCI and PIO. So, from now or since 2015, the OCI and PIO have been merged, and now we have a new term called OCI card holder. Again, these are foreigners. Just a minute, guys. So these are foreigners, but any foreigner who used to be an Indian citizen or held an Indian passport, etc. Now, if you are an OCI card holder, Then what is the advantage of being an OCI card holder? The advantage is that you get lifelong multiple entry visa. So a foreigner, if she wants to come to India, you have to apply for what? Visa every time you come to India. But if you're an OCI card holder, there is absolutely no need to apply for visa. Okay? When you are an OCI card holder, on your passport there's a sticker, the U, unlimited visa sticker on the passport. Lifetime visa is there. Then when you are here, there is no requirement for registration with the FRRO. Not required. You can buy a non-agricultural property also. In fact, if you look at NRIs who are Indian citizens, there is no difference. You can start a business, etc. You can send your kids to school. Same things. What they cannot do, OCI card holders can't do three things. Number one, can't do what? Can't vote. Number two, can't buy agricultural land. And number three, cannot hold constitutional posts. Because to hold constitutional post, what is the requirement? The requirement is to be a citizen of India. So, can an OCI card holder contest elections to the Vidhan Sabha? Tell me. Okay, fair enough. No. One more question. Can a OCI card holder become eligible for president's nomination in the Rajya Sabha if he is somebody who has performed greatly in the field of art, literature, science, etc.? Tell me. Some of you, two of you have said yes. Why yes? To be an MP of Rajya Sabha, the same requirement is there. Citizen of India, age of 35. It is just that the mode of membership is different. Some are elected, some are nominated. But the qualification has to be the same, right? So, no, you cannot be a part of Rajya Sabha. Okay. Now, one more thing. What is a proof of citizenship? In case of Sarbanan Sonowal, uh, see, 2005. In the case of Sarbanan Sonowal, Supreme Court said, if you want to establish your proof of citizenship, it's very, very simple. You please bring the document which tells your name, which tells the date of birth, which tells your place of birth, and your place of birth of parents and their name. That's it. If you can submit any of these documents, we will consider you to be an Indian citizen. Now, my question is, currently, what documents are proof of Indian citizenship? Tell me. Currently, what is the document that is a proof of Indian citizenship? Don't write Aadhaar firstly. Aadhaar, if you ever see the Aadhaar, it is mentioned on the Aadhaar. Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. PAN card can't be a proof of citizenship. PAN card is for income tax purposes. EPIC, birth certificate, passport, fair enough. But as of now, the Ministry of Home Affairs says currently no decision has been taken. Valid proof may include what? Number one, of course, a passport, of course, EPIC, driving license, birth certificate, school leaving certificate, even Aadhaar. Now, as of now, currently, it is not a proof of citizenship. Okay. MHA means Ministry of Home Affairs. Ministry of Home Affairs. Clear? So look at the situation. The government is yet to give us any proof of citizenship. So right now, despite all the hullabaloo or everything we are doing, we cannot even come to the basic understanding of what exactly is a proof of citizenship. This goes a long way in telling us how sincere the government is with respect to dealing with any and every concern on citizenship. Anyway, now NPR, a word recently in news a lot. NPR, National Population Register. As the name suggests, it is a register, a document comprising of names of all the not Indians, all the people living in India. This means it is a register of usual residents, people who usually live in the country, and it is based on self declaration. Self declaration. Who is a usual resident? Anybody who has been living in the country for the last 6 months or who plans to live in the country for the next 6 months, they are called usual residents. Are we clear? This means this NPR collects data on both citizens and foreigners. All the people living in this country at this point of time will be a part of NPR. Citizens, non-citizens. Are we clear? NPR was conducted for the first time in 2015, sorry, 2010, second time in 2015. Currently, it is on hold. And this NPR has a database. It is now an electronic database of 119 crore people. These 119 crore people are all a part of NPR. Nikhil, will it include refugees like Tibetan? No, not illegal migrants. Illegal migrants, if you tell the government you are illegal migrant, the government will jail you immediately. So illegal migrants not included. Refugees, yes. Are we clear, everybody? Okay, so this is the NPR, the National Population Register. Now, this register is prepared under the provisions of the Citizenship Act, and it is mandatory for every citizen to be or every person living in India to get their name registered in the NPR. If you are living in India, it is mandatory, right? Also, recently, the census data is now being collected, though it is not being done right now, but the plans are set now. Hopefully, we'll have the census now. Okay. Census data and the updation of census data is going to be done. So this time the government has also given the option of self-enumeration, meaning filling your data online on your own. Filling your data on your own. But those people whose name is in the NPR, only they are eligible to fill the data online under census. So in case anybody wants the benefit of filling up data on their own on census, you have to get your name in the NPR. As of now, data collection is not happening in NPR. Clear? Now, this identity database is maintained by the Registrar General and the Census Commissioner. This is one person only, not two people. This post is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, MHA. Now, what does the data collect? It collects various aspects like your name, your father's name, spouse name, relationship with the head of household where you're living, mother's name, your gender, your marital status, date of birth, place of birth, nationality, place of birth. Strange, right? Present and permanent address, duration of stay at the present address, place of birth of parents, education qualification, occupation, mother tongue. Why do we have NPR? This exercise was not started by BJP government, just to be very clear. This exercise was started by the Congress only. Okay, so all the fans of Congress, please understand, it's not some BJP propaganda. Now, why do we have NPR? The government says that we are collecting data on all the people in the country in the census. But the problem is, Ketan, origin of NPR, why NPR needed? Give me answer. Ketan, firstly, calm down. Okay, I think you have just joined, maybe it seems. Don't panic, firstly, and don't post such statements like give me answer and all. Please. This nonsense in some other classes. It won't go down well with me. Okay? Behave in limits. Question be addressed with decency. Understand, you are a mere student to me. Don't be a boss here. Anyway, so we have a census, meaning collection of data. What kind of data? The collection of data on of the citizens with respect to your demographic. Right now, you will say that we already have a census. Government has data called census. Then what's the problem? See, the problem with census is that census cannot give the government individual information, because whatever data is collected in census is confidential information. In fact, census, there's a law also which is called Census Act 1948. As per this law, there is a section 15 which says that records of census are not open to inspection, are not even admissible in the court as evidence. So even if by chance you get some census data somehow, you can't table it in the court. Are we clear? Census is protected by confidentiality. You cannot get individual information in census. Now, as a government, I want to know the current situation of my people, their educational background, their current job activity, etc., so that I can prepare better schemes, targeted schemes for them. NPR is designed to collect identity details of every individual, which can later be used by the various government departments for selection of beneficiaries under the respective schemes. So please do not demonize NPR firstly. The original intention of NPR was very genuine. I think every country reserves the right to collect data on citizens, not to misuse it, reserves the right to collect data on citizens and prepare schemes which are tailor made to suit the citizens' need, people's need. Now, where things have gone wrong for NPR is what kind of data are you collecting? So, this is the new form which was released by the Ministry of Home Affairs, Census Commissioner, but they have now taken this off their record. Okay, so we were lucky to get a copy of that. Until it was online, I could extract this. So, this is the information they were selecting and collecting. Now, my point is, if you want to collect data which showcases that you are very serious about finding out people who are in a very poor state and want to make schemes for them, why is this required? Place of birth, beyond our comprehension. Why? Why place of birth of parents is required? Can you find a link? Look at this. Look at this. Date of birth, place of birth of parents. It seems like the government is trying to find out those people who may or may not be Indian citizens. Just a sec, guys. Okay, let's continue. Yeah, I was looking to get the resolution done for that only, Karan. Right? What kind of humming sound is this? Yeah. Anyway, Nikhil, place of birth and of parents to find out the reasons for migration, if any, and full gaps that are causing migration. And full gaps that are causing migration within the nation can be a plausible reason. As of now, place of birth and migration pattern is yet to be deciphered, right? But anyway, uh, the idea about place of birth and place of birth of parents, etc., largely relates to identifying somebody's citizenship. And now we can extrapolate it to mean various things, right? But since the government has not given any statement on why they need all this, right? And how would that be of any help in identifying beneficiaries? That's again subject to our extrapolation. So we can keep on extrapolating that, okay, this may be the thing. It is like if we are interested in government proving the government right, then yes, we can use that argument. Otherwise, on the face of it, these things seem to be slightly a bit too far fetched to believe. Plus, some other information could have been collected, the household income, etc. That data would have been slightly better. So, as of now, on the face of it, it seems like collecting information for a certain purpose, right? And also, I'll come to shortly the next topic, which will further clarify the original intention of the government. But till then, just hold on for some time. Are you clear? Mother tongue is required since, again, the same thing. Some of the information that is being collected may not really be very beneficial to making better schemes. So that is actually there, right? Now, Niranjan, how orphan person be identified? See, it's all about registration. When you are registered somewhere, there'll be some kind of registration proof available. And if it is not available, then it's under state control. So the CCIs or the child care institutions called orphanages will ensure that you get valid proof, etc., of or the basic information of your being Indian. That's their responsibility. Now, coming to people who are on the streets, those orphans, those kids, of course, they may lack such documents. More on this shortly. So, this is basically NPR, right? Okay, Apurva, great then. I thought I'll have to increase my volume too much. Now comes the other term being thrown around in our country called NRC. NRC is a slightly more accurate term because it is a list of citizens. It clearly mentions so. So NRC means a list of citizens. Are we clear? Now, as of now, NRC is only meant for Assam. There is no document, there is no law, there is no government's official notification which says that we are planning to have an NRC, right? So this is again something that is there only for Assam. Now, what is this NRC? NRC basically is a list of all the Indian citizens who are living in Assam. Simple. All the Indian citizens living in Assam part of NRC. This NRC was prepared after the conduct of 1951 census, right? And though I have put a photograph of the original NRC, I'm not sure if it is of any value, but just to tell you that data was collected comprehensively. Names of all the people, the relationship with the household, their door number, how many people live in every family, everything was collected, right? This exercise was conducted after the or along with the first census to find out all those people of Indian citizenship living in Assam. Now, NRC had to be updated regularly, but sadly, our governments were found wanting when it came to NRC updation. Now, what has happened is that especially after 1985, remember Assam Accord? After 1985 Assam Accord, now it is incumbent upon the government to find out what all those people who who came from East Pakistan to Assam after this date and send them back. So now it is more important. But sadly, not a single step was ever taken to update this list to find out who are these illegal migrants who have entered Assam. Right? Now, the real concern here is that, as I said, it was prepared after the conduct of the first census, right up to the village level, and also contained the house number, names of persons living in the house, everything, right? So it contained comprehensive data on all such things. Now, NRC, uh, guys, is the noise of some concern? Some no, some yes. I have just messaged to get this sorted out. Let's see. Okay, so extremely sorry today, guys. We are trying our best to avoid this concern. So, as far as NRC updation is concerned, NRC updation is being done as per the Citizenship Act, of course, right? And secondly, the idea being whose names? Any person whose name was in the voter list up to 1971. Electoral roll. What is the meaning of electoral roll? Voter list. Anybody whose name was in the voter list till 1971. Of course, and your descendants also, they'll also be part of NRC. Then whose name was in the original NRC and their descendants, their kids, grandkids, etc. Or any of the documents that you can prove. Meaning, if you have any kind of land record, if you have any kind of birth certificate, not any kind, the only birth certificate that you would have. And also, one more thing, if you get a letter from any government authority, letter issued by government authority. So basically, for all of you here, in future, you can also be a person, a gazetted officer who has a power to issue a letter proving somebody's or mentioning that somebody is a resident here, etc. You have this power actually in future, right? So that is today's motivation actually, that if you clear the examination, you can issue these letters to people, which can be used in banks, etc., as a mark of residence proof, address proof, name proof, etc. Anyway, now when it comes to updation, now comes the real catch of updation. This updation firstly is being done at the behest of Supreme Court. Don't think the government suddenly better sense prevailed in them and they started updating. No, 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 no. Supreme Court order 2013 that please update. Then finally, the government said, okay, okay, we'll update, okay, we'll update, no problem. And you'll be surprised that the first list was released in the month of July, the 30th of July, 2018. When this list was released, around 19 lakh people were excluded from the list. Of the total 3.29 crore names, 19 lakh 2 million people's names were not there, right? And the final or the supplementary list was released next year in August 2019, right? So that was the time when the second list was released. Now, after the release of these two lists, it was assumed that the it was it was assumed that this would be a final list which would be published. But there are two problems. Number one, the authorities themselves are not sure of the finality of the list. It has been claimed that the people involved, right, to give you this idea, uh, one concern raised is that the software that was used to update the NRC is faulty. Number two, and I'll give a very, very unique problem here. In 2014, when the NRC was being planned to be conducted, it was expected that the total requirement to conduct the NRC in Assam would need around 288 crores. 288 crore rupees were required. By 2019, when the list was completed, 1580 crore rupees had been spent, almost more than 5 times the original expenditure. Where has the money gone? We don't know, right? And also the system integrator, the Wipro Limited, it is said that they have also violated the Minimum Wages Act. They have not been paying wages to people who are collecting data. And a lot of people have also blamed this person, Prateek Hajela. Prateek Hajela was an IAS officer who was an MP cadre IAS officer who was the state coordinator of NRC. It is said that he disobeyed laws, avoided the quality checks, randomly allowed foreigners to be a part of the NRC. Doubtful voters' names were also added. Their descendants' names were also added. So it has been a very flimsy kind of exercise at the hands of Prateek Hajela. These are the allegations. Now Pratik Hajela has been sent back to Madhya Pradesh because he is from that cadre only. Supreme Court has ordered it because it was felt that his life was under threat in Assam. He has been sent back. So these are the allegations under which the NRC has been conducted. That is why the final list yet to be made public. Final list is yet to be made public, and this is the reason why we still don't have the NRC. That's problem number one, right? Problem number two, which is a bigger problem. You please tell me, if today, let's assume not 19 lakhs, 10 lakh people. If 10 lakh people's names are not found in the NRC in Assam, what is the meaning of this? It only means one thing, that all these people are illegal migrants. Yes or no? 10 lakh people are illegal migrants. Now, you please tell me, what will the government do with these people? What to do? Should we send them to Bangladesh? Again, the same question. Why would Bangladesh accept people? Right? So, the idea here is that When it comes to Bangladesh, they have the exact same problem that we have. Too many people. Bangladesh also suffers from the exact same situation. We have too many people, simply, right? So if you ask Bangladesh, guys, do you want 20 lakh people? Bangladesh will say, do you want 40 lakhs? That's the case. Secondly, imagine India is signing an accord with its own people from Assam, its own organizations, telling that we are going to send these people to some other country. It's like imagine tomorrow Pakistan signs an accord with some Pakistan Karachi based university and says we have found 10 lakh people, they are Indians, send them to India. India, take them. Why will you take them? What if they are all some kind of agents of Pakistan? Who knows? So now you can't send them to Bangladesh. The only thing left is you take them on a helicopter and drop them there. Maybe. Or you put them in the detention centers, etc. Whatever name you call these places. You'll have to place all these people there, and that's the only thing that can be done, nothing else. And then these detention centers where these people are placed are breeding grounds of activities which can be detrimental and prejudicial to public order, security and safety of the country. Because imagine the amount of anger in an individual. See, this exercise was not conducted for the past so many years. Now somebody who came to Assam in 1975, of course, is an illegal migrant. But since 1975, he has been a part of this country, living here illegally, mind you. But now his kids who were born, their kids who were born, were all born in India. They never saw Bangladesh. They have no idea about Bangladesh. And now you tell them, sorry, get lost. Come on, move out. You are not Indians. How will this hold? How easy it is for any of these separatist people in our country to brainwash them, prepare them that look what India has done to you. Come on, take the weapons, wage a war against India. That's what China does. That's what these Pakistani separatists do. Some of our so-called left-wing liberals, that's their agenda in life. So we are going to face a problem in future with these people, with no alternative. And sadly, some of you who become IS officers and get posted in these areas will have to deal with the situation, right? That's how it is. The lethargy of the governments, I mean, the future generations have to pay for the lethargy and laziness, right, of these governments in the past. And even today, nobody is taking any step. To cut a long story short, we have to accept them. Whether we like it or not, that's the only solution. Frankly, this is the only solution. Whatever drama we do, this has to be done. Anyway, that was the NRC. Solve this question. Let's see how many of you get this right. Okay, so A lot of you got this correct. With reference to India, consider the following statements. There is only one citizenship and one domicile. Absolutely correct. Second point, a citizen by birth only can become the head of the state. Who is the head of the state? Oh, sorry. Who is the head of the state? Please tell me. Head of state. Okay, fair enough. It's the President of India. In our country, somebody who is born on Indian soil, is it mandatory for him to be the president? Of course not. Anybody can be the president. Yes or no? Yes. This provision is there in some other country. Which country? Tell me. Which country has the provision that you have to be a natural born citizen? Very good. USA is the country which has this provision. Now, third one. A foreigner once granted citizenship cannot be deprived of it under any circumstance. It's wrong. We have seen deprivation under section 10 can be done. A1 only is the right answer. Moving on now to the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, CAA 2019. I am sure you all know the story, right, of what exactly is the law, what are the concerns, etc. But nevertheless, we'll try to see the law, see the provisions, and fill in those small gaps that may be there in your knowledge. Let's do one thing, guys. Let's take a small break. Let me get this issue sorted out immediately of this drilling sound. And maybe you'll have to join again. That is a possibility. So please stay alert. If you have to join, I'll tell you to join again from the part C. Okay, guys? Is everybody okay with that? I know the disruption is really irritating, but let's get this resolved once and for all, so we can have a full proper 1 hour session at the end. So come back at 7:10. Okay, and that'll be your break as well. Enjoy the break as well. Okay, let's hope things are okay now. We won't have to log in again, no problem. We'll continue from the same point. Hoping sincerely that the things improve for the last 1 hour or other 50 minutes only. Now, so as I said, we have, I'm sure all of you are aware fully and comprehensively on what exactly is this CAA, such a controversial thing. Just some basic information. And before we discuss CAA, let me just remind you of one important point, that illegal migrants are not allowed to acquire Indian citizenship. Are we clear? So just keep that in mind. And if you are found to be an illegal migrant, then you may be imprisoned, or if we find your parent country and proof of that, we can send you back to your parent country. There are two laws for it: Foreigners Act 1946 and the Passport Entry into India Act 1920. These are two laws under which you can be either jailed, and if you are able to, if we are able to identify the country you've come from, tata bye bye to your parent country. Now, the backdrop of CA came in 2015 and then in 2016. So what happened in these 2 years was that the government issued a notification saying that certain categories of people coming from certain countries, belonging to certain religions, despite being illegal migrant, will not be treated as, or rather will be exempted from punishment. Which people? People who have come from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, on or before last year, that is in 2015. So last year is 2014, this date, and they belong to these religions. So if a Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi, or Christian from these countries, Afghanistan, Bangladesh, or Pakistan, comes to India and we have information that he or she is an illegal migrant, don't worry, we will not treat you as illegal migrant. Are we clear? We will still treat you as, or we will not punish you or we will not jail you. So illegal migrants have to be jailed, but don't worry, we will not punish you or will not send you back to your parent country also. That's it. Nothing else was said. Clear? Now, what is a CAA? The Act. The Act says, and the biggest misconception, the Act does not give anybody any citizenship. This Act simply says that people, those illegal migrants, these six communities who have come from three countries, these three countries, till 31st of December 2014, will what? Will not be treated as illegal migrant. So I am saying that if you are a Hindu and you have come from Pakistan to India, don't worry, I am not treating you as illegal migrant. This means what? If you are not being treated as an illegal migrant, this allows you to apply for Indian citizenship. Because if you are being treated as an illegal migrant, then you will not be allowed to apply for citizenship. Simple. Did we understand this point? Everybody, this is the major point here. Nobody is being given any citizenship. We are simply saying that we will allow people to apply for citizenship because we are removing the tag of illegal migrant. Right? Okay. Now, Once they acquire citizenship, if they want to acquire, such migrants shall be deemed to be Indian citizens from the date of their entry into India. And if there is any legal proceedings against them under the Passport Entry into India Act or the Foreigners Act, such kind of cases will be dropped, will be closed. Clear? No punishments, no penalties, etc. Then, one more thing. These people, do you remember just a couple of hours earlier, we were discussing on naturalization. So, for naturalization, you have to stay in India for how many years? Any idea? Tell me, if you want to apply for naturalization, how many years? You have to stay in India for 12 years. 1 plus 11. Continuously, 12 months. And in the previous 14 years, you must stay in India for 11 years. Now, for these, the Act allows a person to apply for citizenship by naturalization. But for the specified class of illegal migrants, who are the class? The same Hindus, Christians, Jains, Parsis, etc., coming from Afghanistan, Pakistan, Bangladesh, the number of years that you have to stay here is now not 11. No, this is not going to be 11. This will only be 5 years. Okay? 5 years. So this is the case. 5 plus 1, 6 years. Are we clear, everybody? So now this is going to be 6 years and not 12. Okay. So one change is you will not be called an illegal migrant. Second change is 6 years now rather than 12. Only for these people. The law has not been changed for others. For these people only. Now one more thing. On a passing note, in this particular law, all those people who have an OCI card, your OCI card can be cancelled also. How? The law says if you violate any law in the country, what kind of law? That they have not mentioned. They have said we will notify what kind of law. So whether it is jumping the signal, what if a OCI card holder comes and spits on the street? That's also breaking a law. What if an OCI card holder jumps the signal? That's also breaking a law. So what kind of laws, if broken, will result in violation of the or result in cancellation of card? That is yet to be notified. That is there. So slightly vague here. Also very important. See, this benefit of CAA. What is the benefit? That you will not be called an illegal migrant. That's the benefit, actually. That you will now not be called an illegal migrant. This benefit will not be extended to everybody. Sorry. This benefit will be extended to only those people who have come and are staying in India in certain parts. There are some parts of the country where this benefit of CAA is not being extended, is not applicable. Which parts? Schedule 6 areas. So tomorrow we'll be studying about Schedule 6 areas. You'll get to know what are these Schedule 6 areas. Some districts in the state of Assam, Meghalaya, Mizoram, as well as Tripura. Okay, so that's there. Now, are you aware? I'm sure some of you would be aware that and one question firstly, when you move from say Maharashtra to Karnataka, or you go from Tamil Nadu to say Kerala, do you need do you need to show any kind of proof? Is there any document required? Is there any document required? Of course not. But guys, we'll have to log out and log in again. We'll just change the studio. So, guys, take a quick break for around 2-3 minutes. By 7:25, join again. Okay. So I'm stopping the session right now and join at 7:25. Quickly. I'm not ending. Okay, now let's hope it's all sorted out. Am I audible, guys? Am I audible and visible? Okay. So coming to the last 1.5 hour got completely disrupted. Apologies for this, guys. Now, as far as this point was concerned, I was trying to make is that when it comes to all these areas in our country, you are free to move from say UP to Bihar, free to move from Odisha to Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, whatever, no problems. But there are certain places where historically also you were not allowed to move, right? Without approval, without some permit, without some permission. So, what are those areas? So, basically, the source of this is a very old rule known as Bengal Eastern Frontier Regulation. This was the regulation of 1873, wherein the British Indian government said that we should not let other people go to these tribal areas. We should prevent the settlement of outsiders in these tribal areas to protect the indigenous and tribal population. Only we can harass them. I mean, idea was that outsiders should not be allowed. This concept was appreciated by the government of India also in 1950 that we said we should continue this process. It will safeguard their culture, it will protect their custom. So there are certain areas which are governed by Inner line permit. States regulated under this. So the idea is that when you enter these states, you need some kind of permit from the local administration to enter these states. It's not a difficult thing to get, it's very easy to get, but still it is officially required. Are we clear? There are some other parts of the country also where you need some kind of permission to enter. Very simple, nothing complicated. And even Indian citizens need it. Are we clear? You go to Himachal, for example, there are certain parts where you need some kind of local approval to enter. Simple. So in these areas, uh, example, we have Arunachal, we have Nagaland, then Mizoram and Manipur. So if by chance you came running from Pakistan all across India, you cross Rajasthan, UP, Bihar, Bengal, Assam, and you ended up in Arunachal Pradesh, sorry, you ran too far. You will not get the benefit of CAA. If you are found in these areas, you will still be considered to be illegal migrant. Are we clear? If you are found living in these areas, you will still be considered to be illegal migrant, irrespective of whatever the provision is, whether you come from Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Pakistan, or are a Hindu, Christian, etc., and have come before 2014. The law is not meant for you. So this is the applicability of the provisions. Now coming to the real question, the issues. India wants CA. Some people are saying that India wants CA. We cannot do without CA. Others are saying we oppose CA. What's the reality? Firstly, let me ask a question here. How many of you feel that CA is a good idea? A for yes, B for no. A for yes, B for no. Oh, interesting. Now, see, as far as this law is concerned, there are some genuine concerns here with the law. Definitely. You can raise some concern. Like the concern being raised is that this law violates Article 14. Now, you will say, sir, what is Article 14? Article 14 talks about equality, right? That there should be equality before law. Everybody is equal in the eyes of law. Why this discrimination? Why differential treatment? If an illegal migrant comes from Pakistan, you are saying, come on. If he comes from, say, Iran, you say, come on, get lost. Why this differential treatment? Based on their country of origin, based on their religion, based on their entry into India, based on where they are living in India. Now, this can very easily be thwarted. This logic can very easily be thwarted or can be rebutted. Very easy. See, the point is, Article 14 also allows what we know is positive discrimination, meaning the law allows the state to discriminate against you, but positively. Don't we have reservation in the country? Yes or no? Don't we have schemes meant only for the poor people? Yes or no? Is the taxpayers' money not being spent selectively to give resources to the poor people? Then do we raise a concern? Of course not. We understand that the people who are poor, they are suffering. The state needs to take special care of them. It's okay. Now, one big concern was that this law violates the rights of people. That is not the case. This law does not take away any Indian's citizenship. Tell me, does the law take away an Indian person's citizenship? Any Indian? Hindu, Muslim, in Muslims? Of course not. This law is only giving opportunity to some non-citizens to apply for citizenship. Understand the point, right? It only creates avenues, opens doors for those people who are not Indian citizens to apply for citizenship. Now, some may claim that then why not Muslims? And why these people only? So, these people have been facing a lot of persecution in the neighboring countries. Now, are Muslims not facing persecution? Yes, they are, right? Are the Shias not facing persecution? Yes, they are, of course. But that is not the point here. The point is, it's like, saying that uh, now, our governments, do you think only 60% people are suffering? No. Frankly, 80 to 90% people are not living in good conditions. Or when the government gives a scheme, Antyodaya Anna Yojana, that scheme is what? You are giving the most basic necessities of life to people. Food grains at 1 to 3 rupees kg. Should we not start giving pulses of various kinds? What if country had more resources? We could give milk also to the poor people. We could give dry fruits to poor people. Of course, we want that. Definitely want that. But the problem is limited resources. So as of now, the government can only give you this much. In future, if we have more money, we'll give you all that. Same logic applies. But as of now, within the limits of our economic capacity, we can only give citizenship to these categories of people. In future, we can incorporate Sri Lanka also, Myanmar also, China also. Who knows? As of now, this much. Clear? This actually legally does not violate Article 14. But then, my point is, why were largely Muslims protesting against CA, the entire Shaheen Bagh protest? What was that all about? Tell me. Can somebody explain to me what was the problem with the Shaheen Bagh protest? I mean, if I'm saying here and you're all agreeing that, frankly, this law does not really give any kind of or does not take away anything from the Indian Muslim, why were they protesting? Why were they angry? Tell me quickly. No idea? Lack of knowledge. Okay, see, that will be there with every kind of protest. Muslim Brotherhood for Pakistan. Uh, Khambapati, why Muslims were not added? But again, what's my concern? If let's say I'm Muslim, my citizenship is not being taken away. So why should I be worried? Not everyone has papers. Papers for what? For citizenship. But I don't need to worry. I'm an Indian citizen. This law is not taking away my citizenship. So why should I be worried? Whether you give citizenship to some Pakistani or some Afghanistani or somebody from the moon, who cares? Misinterpretation of information, propaganda, etc. That was not actually true. Let me explain why the protests were happening. So we can very easily discard and discredit the protesters. That is not always justified. Now, Bollywood celebs going and protesting, I should not make this statement, but they don't have knowledge of these things. They should refrain from protesting until unless they have studied properly, right? So it's, and most people also sitting there, they may have no idea. But the ones who were originally a part of the protests, they had some idea. And what was their logic? I'll explain to you. Their logic, their logic was because of a statement made by the Home Minister, Mr. Amit Shah, in the press. Amit Shah made a statement. we are going to conduct, or we are conducting an NPR, and then we will conduct an NRC. We already have conducted CAA. This is the chronology sequence in which we are moving. So he explained to people, आप chronology समझिए, understand the chronology. First we have CAA, then we'll make the NPR, the population register, and then NRC out of it. Now comes the problem. You are making an NPR. What is NPR? List of all the people who are living in the country. From this NPR, you will extract NRC, all those people who are Indian citizens. Once NRC data is extracted, what is going to happen? Let's say this is the NRC data, names of people. Now, there is a person A and a person B. Both these people's name is not there in this NRC, not there. A is a Hindu, B is a Muslim. Hindu, Muslim. If A's name is not there in the NRC, A can still have some kind of hope of CA. If he or she is able to somehow justify that he is a Hindu and he has come from Pakistan, no problem, and I've been living in India for the past 20 years. I came from Pakistan originally. I've been living for the past 20 years. That's it. Simple. All you have to do is prove that you are a Hindu and have been living in India before 2014. So a Hindu whose name is not in this list will be given the opportunity to apply for citizenship. But a Muslim whose name is not there, now he has no recourse to CAA. What does he do now? Now there is no option for him but to be declared an illegal migrant. Are we clear? This was a sequence of events which was going to impact the Muslim of the country in future. Not at that point of time, but in future. Did we understand the chronology sequence? No? I'll repeat once again. Hear me out patiently. I am a Hindu. But because the government made an NPR, list of the population of all the people living in this country, and from that NPR, they have extracted all the Indian citizens because it contains nationality also. Now, when you make your NRC, list of all the Indian citizens across the country, there are bound to be some names. There are bound to be some names which will be excluded. Gaurav, please focus on this now. In this NRC that we have made, some names will not be there because some people may not have any kind of proof. Do we all agree on this? Tell me, is it possible that some names will not be there? Okay. Okay. Now, if a Muslim is Indian citizen, why his name would not be in NRC? All those orphans, the beggars, hawkers, what's the proof? Akash, if I ask you right now, tell me the proof of citizenship. According to the government, what is a proof of citizenship? Tell me. What's your answer? What is a valid document? Don't read. We are yet to find out. The government has not even told, sir, you are writing Aadhaar and birth certificate. Aadhaar is not a proof of citizenship. Firstly, don't write Aadhaar. I just explained 1 hour ago that as of now, there is no proof coming from the government as a valid proof of citizenship. Yes or no? Secondly, all these people begging on the streets, they are carrying a passport, voter ID card. No. Yes or no? They are not having a proof. Don't think of yourself as India. You are not representative of India. You belong to an elite class. All of us sitting here belong to an elite group of top 10% people of this country. Frankly, that's the reality. The poor may start suffering. Now, if I am a Hindu and I am a poor person and my name is not there in the list, NRC, it's very easy for me. I just have to claim and prove that I'm a Hindu and I have been living this country before 2014. If I can justify that somehow, based on rules regulations, I will have the opportunity of getting the benefit of CAA. But imagine now I'm a Muslim, a poor Muslim who has no valid document only, because I never thought the need to have a document. No passport, no voter ID card, begging on the streets. Now you come and tell me, show me your proof. Passport is the only proof. No passport, no problem. Show me birth certificate. Birth certificate, I don't have it. Show me the school leaving certificate. What school? I've never been to a school. No proof, illegal migrant. Come on, illegal migrant. Come to detention camp. As a Muslim, what scope do I have now? There is no CAA for me to help me out, to save me from the tag of illegal migrant. This was the problem. So when this statement was made by the Home Minister, it was perceived that in future we'll have an NPR and NRC, it will be linked, and which will cause trouble for Indian Muslims also. Falak sir, but why detention camp? Any place, I just give an example. Where will you put the illegal migrant? Any place, right? Are we clear, everybody, now? Or still there's a problem? Now let me tell you something. Next year, in the month of January, Narendra Modi came out publicly in a speech and said, we have no plans to make an NRC in future. This means that this entire concept becomes bogus now, and the Indian Muslim should not be afraid. Now, there are 2 points here. Your Home Minister says we'll have NRC. After 2 months, you are saying no NRC. What is the guarantee that after 3 months, again, you will not say we'll have NRC? Is there any guarantee? There is no guarantee. And also, one very, very important point that you have to understand is this. When any law is made, like say, you have to prove you have come from Pakistan, what's your religion, what's your date of entry, what's the proof? The law does not tell all these things. You have to make rules. Remember, rules, first class. When laws are made, to implement the laws, rules have to be made on how the laws will be implemented, what is the document required, what will be the valid document, all those things. Rules are yet to be made. Sadly, again an extension was given till June 23. What happened after it, we don't know. It's been 4 years now. The government is yet to make any rule on the CAA. So far, how many people have obtained the benefit of CAA? Zero. Not a single person. Because rules have not been made. Because the government says it's pandemic, they're too busy. You are busy for everything except elections. That's when you are free for campaigning. And frankly, the most important point is that there are people who have been suffering in the neighboring country. There are horrific stories that have been collected by these NGOs of these people living a difficult life in Pakistan. I'll just quote an example. So this person who escaped Pakistan with his spouse and 4 kids, he is working as a fruits vendor, fruit seller in one big city in the country. Why to name the city and all? So this NGO approached him and talked to him. This is one such story. What kind of atrocity he faced? So he was in Pakistan, not a rich person, a pretty, maybe a lower middle class person, a villager with a basic small piece of land and a farming background. The village goons belonging to a certain religion of course, would come and molest his wife, raped his wife, forced the wife to bear the child, right? Not once, not twice, but for almost 4 years. All the four kids that this lady had were not this man's kids, they were these goons' kids. And then he escaped with the wife and the kids, who were not his technically. This is one such example of the atrocities being committed by the people, or being committed on the people who have escaped. And the government has made a mockery of all these things. They have, I don't think the intention is to give citizenship. The intention was just elections round the corner, get the votes. Because if your intention was very genuine on giving citizenship, you would have made rules immediately to give citizenship. That's the sad part here, right? So, this is a concern with the law, that it is anti secular in nature, because the government's intention does not seem to be appropriate. Because if you had the intent to give citizenship, you would have made rules immediately allowing for citizenship. If you are so, affected by the atrocities being committed, that would be the first step. But sadly, hangama was the only agenda on your or mind. That let's create a hangama in the country, so people say you are my savior. That is a problem. That so much of hatred is has been in the past also, and even now till date, both the sides, don't worry, has been both the sides have been spewing so much of venom in the minds of people, that the only thing that you can think of is hatred, nothing else, towards the other person. That's all that we can think of now. So it is anti secular in nature. Yes, the nature can be questioned. The intention seems to be misplaced. This is not appropriate, right? And also, one more issue with the law is that the OCI card cancellation ground is very vague. The card cancellation ground is very vague. So here, Supreme Court has said that government should release a list of laws which, if broken, will result in the cancellation of the card, right? So this is with respect to the CAA. I don't think there'll be a question on this, because our courts are so enthusiastic in taking up these cases and matters, that the idea is, this matter is pending in Supreme Court, Indian Union Muslim League case 2019. CAA challenge in Supreme Court pending. Supreme Court has other important things to do, right? Taking up the cases of big celebs and all, that's also important, right? Poor people, they'll keep on suffering, it's okay. Chalta hai, right? Slums are demolished, it's okay. Normal. But mind you, we had grand celebration, right? It's okay, some people die, natural. But the country is taken to great heights. That's more important. Akash, why don't the Pakistan government take steps against my Pakistani government? Please write Pakistani army. I think that would be more appropriate. The country is built on hatred. Let's not waste a single moment on discussing on Pakistan and their intention, right? So, what can we say? So, see, I don't really want to hangama, chaos, Niranjan, chaos. That's hangama, chaos. Just to create a hula balu in the country of, see, I am the only savior. So see, my intention is not to say that let's all turn communists. Of course, that's worse than this. But the intention is that there should be some respect for an individual's dignity. And it's enough that we take authority on face value. No, no, no. Respect needs to be earned. If we find that you are genuinely interested in taking care of the people, we are all up for it. But the intention is just to create chaos in the society, then we have to turn out to vote. And if time comes, we'll vote you out and vote anybody but you. That should be with a very clear message that it's very, very important for governments, this government, this party, that party, any party that comes to power, please perform for the people, right? That is of extreme importance. And as far as courts are concerned, I think it's better left for the judgment of the courts why this matter is not being heard quickly. I mean, if you see the Article 370 debates, we'll discuss that tomorrow, you will be shocked at how much of leeway is given to some of the lawyers in the court whose arguments are so baseless and absurd that if they make an argument in front of you, you would laugh it off. But the courts entertain them because there are some hotshot lawyers. That's a sad reality. And that's why we say that amidst all this reality of this caste divide, this economic divide, this class divide, you have to work, take orders from them, and still ensure that you work for the welfare of the poor. It is very, very important that once you reach that post where you can actually control authority, you also don't become like them and don't misuse authority. So, this ethics paper should not just be a paper where you score good marks, but should be a genuine concern of every aspirant who becomes a civil servant in future. Right? Anyway, that is all as far as citizenship is concerned. I really don't expect any kind of question from this. Mains, impossible. Prelims, of course, a basic question can be asked from this topic, so that is nothing unique. Just focus on those things. Tomorrow, we'll take up for discussion the other points and aspects. Once we are done, we'll move on to discussing the Union Territory UTs. We'll discuss Article 370 and we'll also discuss. So, we'll have Article 370, schedule areas, UTs, etc. will be discussed tomorrow. Okay? Virat, that's a choice that you should make on your own. Questions, if any, guys? Any questions? So again, before you leave, of course, it is going to be a bit challenging to study today and tomorrow, but if possible, just go through what is taught today, tonight, and once before the class. Just casually read the annotations. That would be great. It would help you also have a connect. Nikhil, what's the logic behind? See, Nikhil, the logic was the original cutoff, original notification actually. That was the logic. And they continued it because once you have given a cutoff date, then the stand is very clear. So the date cannot be changed now. So the cutoff date logic was that in 2015 they came up with a notification. They simply said till last year. That's it. Nothing behind, nothing else. It was very simple. No other complication in the logic. Thank you, guys. Okay. Uh, Gaurav, e-code project. Basically, we are trying to put all the data online. So when I give you data on pending cases and all, it's all now available online, right? The e-court project. Satish, for that, see, with the limited time you have, reading editorials is the only way out. So I can very easily suggest to you read some books by Amartya Sen, etc. But that is time consuming. So for you and for most aspirants here who will be clearing the exam in 24 or 25, it is more appropriate to focus on reading editorials. That's why I always insist read editorials on your own, and you constantly try to watch some explanation of the editorial, and that's where the purpose is lost, right? Editorials, to be very frank, do not give you great content quality in terms of facts, frankly, right? They give you the idea about presentation of points. That's what we have to learn. Facts we already know. Monthly magazine, Yojana, Kurukshetra, the static portion, it's sufficient. But the way to present those arguments is what is required. That's how editorials come into picture. Okay, guys, any other queries or concerns? If no, we'll end our session for the day and we'll meet tomorrow at 10. That is all for me, guys. Jai Hind.